In the left corner, we have the Bonce Machete ML-12, weighing in at 13 pounds, costing $89 with a 2-inch coil. And in the right corner, we have the Crossfire C3 12-inch subwoofer, weighing in at 14 pounds, costing $99 with a 2.5-inch voice coil. Which one of these subwoofers will come out on top? Well, the choice is yours, so let's just get to the video. All right, it's time to get some measurements so we can compare the two. The Bonce is right at 12 1/4 of an inch. The Crossfire is right at 12 1/2 of an inch. Surround to surround, we are right at 11 inches on the Bonce and right at 11 inches on the Crossfire. Now you might have to forgive me in advance because I know I'll probably slip up and say Bounce at some point, but I'm trying not to do that. So as far as cone area, right at 9 inches for the Bonce and right at 9 inches for the Crossfire. The surround thickness on the Bonce is 1 inch. The surround thickness on the Crossfire is also 1 inch. The depth of the surround on the Bonce is right at 1 inch. The depth of the surround on the Crossfire is about 1.25 inches. The mounting depth on the Bonce is right at 5.5 inches. The mounting depth of the Crossfire is right at 6 3/8 of an inch. All right, as far as the backside, they both have push pin terminals like every other sub we've tested. These look to fit around 10 gauge. As far as venting, the Bonce does not have a bump backplate. It only vents from the side. It looks like it has ample venting though around here. The Crossfire, on the other hand, does have the bump backplate with the rear vent, as well as venting around the voice coil area. Other differences you might notice is the Bonce is more of a flat pancake style motor, making it a more shallow mount situation, although it's not a shallow mount sub. The Crossfire has a textured material to its stamped basket, kind of giving it that cast basket feel without being a cast basket. Alright, so I did have to get a bit creative on the Crossfire sub. It was roughly like a 1/16 off of mounting flushly in the hole. This is the first sub so far that I've had that issue with the 11-inch cutout, so I did have to kind of use the rubber gasket as a little bit of a spacer for this to work properly. And I've already had it hooked up to the Kicker Q class, played it in the lab just to make sure there's no leaking whatsoever. And I've got it clamped down pretty good. I didn't notice any leaking at all, and it sounded good, so I don't think we're gonna have an issue here, but I figured I'd bring it to your guys' attention, just so you know. All right, we are back in the Trooper with the Crossfire C3. We're gonna do the same test that we've done before. We're gonna do a listening test. We're gonna do a frequency sweep, and then we're gonna do individual tones and see where we end up. Now, I do wanna point out a few things. We have 3 noises to contend with. One of them is the AC. The AC is going because it is hot here again. On top of that, you might hear this torque converter noise. I still gotta get it fixed. Once it cools down, we will take care of that. And the last, but certainly not least noise, because this probably makes the most noise, is this rear view mirror right here. And you know, it's doing the best it can, but this sucker rattles. Not nearly as bad as the stock one, which went here, that thing rattled like crazy. This one does a better job, but it still does rattle. So now that you got all the caveats, let's play the same exact track that we always do and see what it sounds like. Alright, we're on to the SPL testing. Volume knob is at 25 like it was on every single test. It should be seeing roughly 1,000 watts, give or take. Let's start with the frequency sweep, then we'll go on to the individual frequencies and we'll see what this sub can do. I will say in the listening test, this sub actually seemed like it would take a little bit more power than the rest of the subs we've tested so far. We'll see if that translates into more decibels, but we won't know until we actually do it. This subwoofer is really impressive. It is a full decibel plus louder than every other sub we've tested so far. It's cheaper than some of them and it sounds really good. I mean, this one might be my favorite so far, but I have not put the Def Bonce in here yet, so the Def Bonce will be up next. We'll see what it does, but right now I will tell you that in my eyes this one's going to be hard to top, but the choice is really up to you. So make sure you vote at the end of the video for your favorite one. Let's give the Def Bonce a chance. You're back in the Trooper. I have the Bonce Machete in here. We're about ready to put it to the test. We're going to use all the same parameters, same song, same settings on the bass knob, all that stuff, same exact test. So all that will be equal, and it has been equal through this entire test. That being said, one thing that you guys might not realize, the reason it takes me longer to do these videos is because I want to listen to these subs for a week if I can. You know, there's been a few, like these two, I got to listen to about 3 days each. So the sound quality test is not just judged off the one song I'm showing you here. It's just the accumulation of listening to it for several days on the way to and from work, to the store, all that type of stuff. I figured that would be a good piece of info for you each to have. Without further ado, let's jump straight into the test on the Def Bonce. result as far as SPL went with the Def Bonce was 138.7, which is the second loudest, only next to the Crossfire. And this thing does get loud for sure, and it could definitely probably handle as much power as the Crossfire. It seemed to take the 1000 watts really, really well. I don't think it sounded as good as the Crossfire, but also it did kind of sound as good or better than most of the other subs in the mix so far, with the exception of maybe the Rockford Fosgate Prime R2. I would say it's on par with the Savard as far as sound quality goes. This one I think will go down to the wire because they're both fantastic subs, and I don't think you would be disappointed with either one of these. As a matter of fact, I think you would actually be quite impressed with the performance for dollar that you're getting out of these subwoofers. It's up to you guys now. You vote for the winner. Let's see who's going to go to the other side of the Final Four bracket to face, the next competitors we have coming up, and you will learn about those soon enough. Okay, you've got to see the sub, you've got to hear the sub, you have the measurements, you have everything you need to make your vote count. So go over to the poll on the community tab and vote for your favorite sub. Who do you think should win out of the Def Bonce and the Crossfire C3? I'm excited to see who you guys think won this little shootout. That being said, the next video will be the American Base XD versus a to be determined sub. I haven't purchased it yet, so I think I'll just leave it a surprise. It might be more fun as a surprise. You guys will see it when it comes out. Again, go vote for your favorite. Make sure that you get that in. It runs for 1 week, and then I tally up the score, and whoever wins this moves on to the Final Four. Once we get into the Final Four, there will be a giveaway scenario, and I will leave instructions on those videos on how to win. I hope you guys do enjoy this shootout. I'm having a lot of fun, and maybe I'll do more like this at different price points if you guys really do dig it. So that being said, I hope to catch every single one of you on the next video. I love my entire Patreon crew, but the $6 or more members get a special shout out, and that is 2001 Monolithic, G Nava, Joaquin Juarez, El Fuego Audio, Travis McClendon, Brandon Hanna, William Berg, Boxboy Audio Sound Solutions, Jesus Tires, Dennis Cromwell Jr., Scott Dilbeck, D. Stewart, David Kozlik, Scott McCord, Matthew Tolberg, Cornut, Trucker 9000, Bobby Burkett, Kevin Lautner, James Childers, Baba, Thomas Marshall, and Living Loud with Andy. If you've ever wondered how can I support HifiVega, this is the way to do it. Check me out at patreon.com/HifiVega. We do an exclusive live stream for patrons only. Some of them get to join. It's a really fun time. You should definitely check it out.